What's up guys? Tyler again, here with another install video. Today we are doing our Camaro rear trailing arm. So we have our nice tubular steel units that replace the stamped steel ones in the Camaro. You get better handling, it has solid poly bushings, so a lot better feel for both drag and the track. We have our main units, the uppers and the lowers, or front and rear, whichever way you look at it. Another pretty straightforward install, although this one's going to be a little bit tougher. Don't need much. Your 18 mil, long ratcheting wrench, get some leverage, and then also just your regular ratchet there. So 18 mil for front and back for all the bolts. A pry bar, just make things a little bit easier, and then your mallet for a little bit of persuasion. First things first, get the car either up in the air or on jacks and jack stands. Take off both rear wheels, and then we'll go from there. All right, so once you have it up, what you're gonna wanna do first is remove these plastic covers that are over the bottom or rear trailing arm on both. Easy enough, just the typical GM Christmas tree clips or whatever you may call them. So take two flatheads, pop the 4 of those off, and then take that cover off. So after you get those plastic shields off, I'm gonna go ahead with the main arm here. 2 18 mils, we'll get that off. Then next, we'll do the lower, and then finally, the upper is up top there. All right, so on this rear one, you just need to make sure you can get a wrench on the back here, or else the bolt is gonna free spin. All right, one thing to note is that you want to mark the cam alignment on these rear trailing arms here. You can see we've got the blue paint on both of them. What that does is it makes sure that when you're putting it back together that your toe is the same as it was before, because it is adjustable at these rear cams. All right, and that just slides out. And as you can see, you have the stock arm on your right, our ZZP tubular arms on the left. Bushings are definitely quite a bit beefier, just better quality overall. So we'll go ahead and toss this one back in. All right, so when these go back in, they're definitely gonna be very tight. So you might have to use a little persuasion, but we'll get in there. And again, just those 18 mils. I'm not gonna totally tighten these down, just get them on there, and so that the bolts get in, and then we'll fully tighten them down later. So on the lower here, again, just 18s front and rear, and loosen those up and take that off. All right, so these, you have to work the bolt out on both sides, and then the arm will just fall down. All right, and then on this upper trailing arm, you do have the brake cable here, or sensor cable, that you do have to pop out, so just make sure you get those out before you start removing the arm. So after fighting with the top one a little bit, you will have to use a little bit of persuasion, but overall, as long as you have it lined up correctly, you need to make sure that this gusset is on top for the top one and on the bottom for the bottom one. So we'll go ahead, slip this bottom one back on, tighten everything up, and then head over to the next side. So as we scrub through the other side here, 2 things to note that will make life much easier. First and biggest tip is to remove the top knuckle bolt when putting the 2 smaller trailing arms in. Being able to move that knuckle backward, forward, and side to side makes things a lot easier. And then to go along with that, secondly, as you can see, I use a jack under the knuckle to kind of coerce things into place. On the first side, I didn't use a jack or release that knuckle, and it was quite difficult to put in. On the second side, it was way easier to get the smaller trailing arms in, and then I just used that jack to get that top bolt back in, and we were good to go.